Hello everyone, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's important session. Yes guys, hello, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? My friends, we are going through 50 important topics of Indian history and we have covered varied topics of ancient Indian history. Okay. In today's session, we are going to cover certain aspects of Delhi Sultanate, that is medieval Indian history. And in the past session, we had focused on the slave dynasty and we have also studied about the basics of Islam. Okay. Today, we are going to throw light precisely on Khilji dynasty and Tughlaq dynasty. In Khilji dynasty, we are going to speak about the expeditions of Alauddin Khilji, followed by administrative reforms of Alauddin Khilji. Then we'll go through Tughlaq dynasty. In Tughlaq dynasty, we are going to understand about the 5 major experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who is also referred as Juna Khan. And apart from this, we are going to study about the administrative reforms introduced by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. This session, you have lots of terminologies, okay? Yes, Rishi ji, good afternoon. Hope you are fine. HB, good afternoon. Please do not worry about this. Almost like 7 to 8 lectures are left of specifically important topics of Indian history. And once that is completed, please do not worry about this. I will revive back the MCQ series. Is that clear, HB? So please do not worry about this. I haven't stopped the MCQ series. Is that clear? Okay. So guys, without wasting any more time, let's begin our today's session. It's a request to all of you. Please pay attention carefully. Listen to me patiently. We are going to go in a gradual step-by-step manner for easier understanding of the concepts. Is that clear? And please have a pen and paper along with you so that you guys can note down the important points. Is that clear? Okay. Yes, M, good afternoon. Okay, let's begin our session. In the past session, we have seen precisely about one of the major dynasties that is referred as slave dynasty. And in slave dynasty, we have thrown light on Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak, although he was the ruler of Delhi Sultanate, he had made Lahore as his capital. Historians do believe that Qutbuddin Aibak died while playing Chauhan, that is polo. Qutbuddin Aibak was succeeded by his slave as well as son-in-law whose name was Iltutmish, that is Shamshuddin Iltutmish. During the time of Shamshuddin Iltutmish, the slave dynasty or the Mamluk dynasty was also referred as Ilbari dynasty. Why? Because Iltutmish, he belonged to Ilbari tribe. Okay, he shifted the capital from Lahore to Delhi. He introduced 2 important coins, that is silver tanka and copper jittal. Then comes the first female ruler, not only of the slave dynasty but of entire Delhi Sultanate. She was Razia Sultan. And finally comes another important ruler whose name was Balban. Balban was known for his policy of blood and iron. And he had introduced many reforms. Like I'll give you a very simple example. He abolished the Turkani-Chahalgani system that was being initiated by Iltutmish. Apart from this, he had started Sajda and Paibo system. He assumed the title Zil-e-Illahi and Niyabate Khudai. Zil-e-Illahi basically means Sultan is shadow of Allah or God on the earth. He started a Persian festival, that is Navroz. Is that clear? And he had started a new department, that is Diwan-e-Arz department, which was headed by Arz-e Mumalik. So Diwan-e-Arz department was nothing but defense department or military department. Is that clear? Yes, Vipulji, Jai Hind. So now we are going to understand about the Khilji dynasty. After Balban, there were series of weak successors in the slave dynasty. And due to this, it is said that there was one of the military commanders who rose to power, whose name was Jalaluddin Khilji. Jalaluddin Khilji's original name was Firoz. Jalaluddin Khilji, he became the ruler at the age of 70. So when he was 70 years of age, he became the ruler. And Jalaluddin Khilji also followed the policy of expansionism. He followed the policy of imperialism and he continuously increased his territories. Many historians do believe that Jalaluddin Khilji was murdered by his own son-in-law, whose name was Alauddin Khilji. I'll give you a very simple example about this. Like, as we have discussed, Jalaluddin Khilji, he had led many expeditions. Similarly, he had led an expedition to southern part of India, precisely in the region of Deccan, to conquer the region of Devgiri or Daulatabad. Okay, and many times when he had sent the expeditions, he was unsuccessful. So he had one of his governors who was placed in the region of Kara Manikpur, which is located in the region of UP. So the governor's name was Alauddin Khilji. In fact, he was also the son-in-law of Jalaluddin Khilji. So Alauddin Khilji directly led an expedition to the region of Devgiri or Daulatabad. He plundered this region, and rather than coming back to Delhi, he directly went to Kara. On one hand, Jalaluddin Khilji was happy. On the other hand, he was a bit annoyed or angry. Specifically, why he was happy? Because nobody could conquer the region of Daulatabad. Nobody could plunder the region of Daulatabad. But his son-in-law did the same. He conquered the region of Daulatabad and he plundered that region. Correct? On the other hand, he was annoyed. Rather than reporting to the Sultan in Delhi, he directly moved to the region of Kara. And apart from this, first of all, whenever you are leading any particular expedition, you need to take the permission of Sultan. And Alauddin Khilji did not take the permission of Sultan. So after some time, on the day of Eid, he said that, like it is believed that he went to Kara. Personally, he went to Kara to meet his son-in-law and daughter. Now, to reach Kara, one has to cross the river Ganges twice. Okay. So he came along with a fleet of 10 to 15 ships and approximately 1,000 to 1,500 soldiers. So as soon as he crossed the river Ganges once, there was one of the deputies of Alauddin Khilji who came to receive him. And he said that since Sultan is coming to Kara, Alauddin Khilji is quite busy with the preparations for welcoming the Sultan. And he said that you are going to meet your daughter, you're going to meet your son-in-law. Why do you need 1,500 soldiers? Send them back. Why do you need 4 to 5 ships or 15 ships? Just have few ships along with you so that you can carry the gold that was being plundered from the region of Devgiri or Daulatabad. So he, along with 40 to 50 soldiers, came to Kara. But there was a very different plan that was being plotted by Alauddin Khilji. Okay. As soon as this person, Jalaluddin Khilji, came to Kara and he saw his father-in-law, he performed sajda. And after performing sajda, he wanted to perform paibos. Immediately, Jalaluddin Khilji picked him up and hugged him. And through his eye movement, Alauddin Khilji immediately instructed one of his commanders. And it is said that a person, he hit a sword on the neck of Jalaluddin Khilji. It took no time for Jalaluddin Khilji to realize that the plot of his murder has been planned by his son-in-law, Alauddin Khilji. Okay, immediately started running back. And when he started running back, another sword came and he was being beheaded. Many historians do believe that the head of Jalaluddin Khilji was paraded in the region of Kara, Manikpur and Awadh. And this was a symbol of deterrence from the side of Alauddin Khilji. My father-in-law has not even revolted against me, and he has to meet that fate. Even if a single governor revolts against me, he has to meet the same fate. And now Alauddin Khilji became the next ruler of Khilji dynasty, or became the next ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Is that clear? Now moving ahead, about Alauddin Khilji. The things, specifically the expeditions of Alauddin Khilji, are important. Apart from this, the administrative reforms of Alauddin Khilji are very, very important from the exam perspective. Because here I am going to mention few important terminologies. And it's a request to all of you, if possible, please note down these terminologies. Is that clear? Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji, his original name was Ali Gurshab. And we have seen how Alauddin Khilji came on the throne of Delhi Sultanate. He sat on the throne of Delhi Sultanate by killing his own father-in-law, Jalaluddin Khilji. Okay. Now, Alauddin Khilji, he followed the same policy that was being followed by Balban. And we had seen Balban had followed the policy of blood and iron. Similarly, here as well, Alauddin Khilji had followed the policy of blood and iron. Okay. Now, first he went into the basic reasons how nobles became powerful. So nobles became powerful due to the intermarriage between the noble families, consumption of intoxicants, social gatherings, all these made the noble powerful. So what did this person do? He abolished all kinds of festive gatherings. None of the festive gatherings would be held without the permission of the Sultan. Okay, none of the nobles there wouldn't be any kind of a intermarriage between the noble families without the permission of the Sultan. And now Alauddin Khilji started following the policy of expansionism. Is that clear? Yes, very good noon, Jivisha. So, he began his expedition policy. Now listen to me very carefully. Rather it be Delhi Sultanate, rather it be the Mughal rulers, majority of them initially focused on the region of Gujarat, and secondly they focused on the region of Malwa. Why Gujarat and why Malwa? Gujarat, being a coastal state, had a very vibrant trade. It's not just from the time of medieval India. Okay, precisely Gujarat had a very vibrant trade since the time of Indus Valley civilization. Correct? Like there were many sites of Indus Valley civilization which had a very vibrant trade with the Mesopotamian civilization. Example, Lothal, Surkotada, Dholavira, Rangpur, Desalpur and many more. So Gujarat was strategically very important, and apart from this, Alauddin Khilji had focused on fast-moving cavalry. The very basic question comes here is, why was Alauddin Khilji was successful in every expedition that he led? Alauddin Khilji was successful because there was one important reason. He focused on fast-moving cavalry, and he imported the horses from Central Asia that came through the region of Gujarat. And Malwa, as we have seen previously, the region of Madhya Pradesh, geographically speaking, is divided into 3 to 4 important parts. The southern part of Madhya Pradesh is referred as Nimad, the regions such as Khandwa, Burhanpur and so on. The northern and northwestern part of Madhya Pradesh is referred as Chambal and Bundelkhand. I'll give you an example, Bhind, Morena, Shiopur, all these are the regions of Chambal, and Bundelkhand region, okay, the northern part of MP. The eastern part of MP is referred as Baghelkhand and the western part of MP is referred as Malwa. Example, Dhar, Mandu, Ujjain, Indore, Devas, all these comes under the region of Malwa. And historians do believe that Malwa is the gateway to South India, or Malwa opens the door of South India. Hence, majority of the rulers initially focused on the region of Gujarat and Malwa. Okay. So, Alauddin Khilji, he personally did not lead an expedition to the region of Gujarat. He had sent two of his important commanders whose name was Ulugh Khan and another one was Nusrat Khan. And as I have told you, what was the major reason or what was the major purpose for annexing the region of Gujarat? First was the vibrant trade, and second was importing the horses from Central Asia. So these were the two important reasons. So listen to me very, very carefully. These two military commanders attacked the region of Gujarat. And when they attacked the region of Gujarat, the ruler of Gujarat was Rai Karan. And Rai Karan had a daughter named as Deval Devi. Okay. Initially in the battlefield, the ruler Rai Karan, he showed an exemplary valor and courage. But later on, he had to move away from the battlefield. In fact, the wife of Rai Karan, she was taken into captivation and she was taken back to Delhi. And she was forced to marry to Alauddin Khilji. On the other hand, it is also believed that Rai Karan and his daughter Deval Devi, they fled away from the battlefield and they moved towards other place. Which place did they move? We'll see that further. Okay. Then Alauddin Khilji's military commanders also captured the region of Malwa. And the region of Malwa, a governor was appointed, Ain-ul-Mulk Multani. Okay. So Gujarat and Malwa. Now comes the region of Rajputana. Now comes the region of Rajasthan. Precisely in the region of Rajasthan, it is believed that initially Alauddin Khilji had captured the region of Ranthambore. and Ranthambore, it was under ruler Hamir Dev. Ranthambore was one of the strongest forts of Rajputana at that time. So he initiated his expedition of Rajputana from the region of Ranthambore, which was under the command of Hamir Dev. Okay. Initially, he had dispatched his military commanders, but his military commanders were unable to capture the region of Ranthambore. So the expedition of Ranthambore was personally led by Alauddin Khilji. First thing. Then he moved on to another important region, that was Jalore. So the region of Jalore was also being captured. But there's a very different reasons for siege over the region of Chittorgarh or Chittor. Chittorgarh was strategically very important. Correct? And the ruler of Chittorgarh was Raja Rawal Ratan Singh. Alauddin Khilji did not had any personal animosity with Raja Rawal Ratan Singh ji. But historians do believe that Alauddin Khilji coveted Rani Padmini ji, who was the wife of Raja Rawal Ratan Singh, and she was very pretty. Now, it is believed that since he coveted upon the Rani Padmini, he attacked the region of Chittorgarh. And after attacking the region of Chittorgarh, Raja Rawal Ratan Singh ji was killed in a treacherous manner. And after that, Rani Padmini, along with 900 to 1000 women of Chittorgarh, committed Jauhar. And since Alauddin Khilji, he wanted to marry Rani Padmini forcefully, like he got completely infuriated. He got very annoyed and angry, and he created a general massacre in the region of Chittorgarh. In fact, Chittorgarh, during the medieval period, during the tenure of Alauddin Khilji, was renamed as Khizirabad. Why it was named as Khizirabad? Because Khizr Khan was appointed as the governor of Chittorgarh. And who was Khizr Khan? Khizr Khan was one of the sons of Alauddin Khilji. Correct? The general massacre was done in the region of Chittorgarh. This was being highlighted by one of the court historians of Alauddin Khilji, who was referred as Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro, who is also referred as father of Qawwali. Correct? Then, apart from this, this entire episode has been mentioned in a book which is referred as Padmavat. And the book Padmavat was written by Malik Muhammad Jayasi. It was written during the time of Sher Shah Suri. Please remember this. The book Padmavat was not written during the time of Alauddin Khilji. The book Padmavat was written during the time of whom? Sher Shah Suri. And it was written in which language? It was written in Awadhi language. Just remember this. The book Padmavat was written in Awadhi language. There are questions usually on the literature part as well. So you have to focus on all the aspects. Clear? So he had conquered the region of Gujarat. He had conquered the region of Malwa. Apart from Gujarat and Malwa, he had conquered the region of Ranthambore from its ruler Hamir Dev. He had conquered the region of Jalore, and treacherously he had killed Raja Rawal Ratan Singh ji of Chittorgarh. Okay. Now comes the South Indian expeditions of Alauddin Khilji. Specifically speaking, what were the South Indian expeditions of Alauddin Khilji and who had led the South Indian expeditions? Let's understand about this. Alauddin Khilji had an able military commander whose name was Malik Kafur. And Malik Kafur, it is said that he was being purchased, like as I have discussed about this, that Nusrat Khan and Ulugh Khan, they had led an expedition to the region of Gujarat. And when they had led an expedition to the region of Gujarat, from a local Qazi, they had purchased a slave. And the slave was referred as Hazar Dinara. Why he was referred as Hazar Dinara? Because he was purchased in 1000 dinars. And he was nothing but Malik Kafur. So Malik Kafur, he was dispatched for the South Indian expeditions of Alauddin Khilji. And the first expedition led by Malik Kafur was in the region of Devgiri or Daulatabad. Now the very basic question and the very first question that arrives in the mind of every aspirant, like right now we have discussed that Alauddin Khilji had plundered the region of Devgiri or Daulatabad. Okay. But still, why he is again attacking the region of Devgiri or Daulatabad? There's a reason behind that. During the time of Jalaluddin Khilji, it is believed that Devgiri was being plundered. But the ruler of Devgiri, Ramchandra Dev, had said that he is going to send regular tributes to the Khilji dynasty. But since past 2 to 3 years, he was not sending any kind of a tribute. So Alauddin Khilji had dispatched Malik Kafur to know the exact situation, what was happening there. Okay, so to understand the exact scenario, what happened? Just a second. To understand the exact scenario, he had sent whom? He had dispatched Malik Kafur. And when he had dispatched Malik Kafur, what happened? Just hold on for a second. He had dispatched Malik Kafur. If you remember the story completely, correct? So Malik Kafur came to Devgiri or Daulatabad, and the ruler of Devgiri or Daulatabad was Ramchandra Dev. Correct? And Ramchandra Dev had a son named as Shankar. So Malik Kafur was very astonished to know this, that there was a plot of Ramchandra Dev. And what was the actual plot? If you remember the expedition of Gujarat led by Alauddin Khilji, the ruler of Gujarat, Rai Karan, and his daughter, Deval Devi, okay, both of them fled away from the battlefield. Correct? So where were they taking asylum? So Ramchandra Dev had provided asylum to the ruler of Gujarat, Rai Karan. And precisely there was a plan. And what was the plan? Ramchandra Dev will marry his son Shankar to Deval Devi, the daughter of whom? Rai Karan. And matrimonial alliances is one of the important strategies to make oneself powerful. And ancient India has many examples for this. In fact, I'll give you one of the finest example. During the time of the Britishers, it is said that the entire region of Bombay was given in dowry to whom? The Prince Charles II. It is said that Portuguese Princess Catherine Braganza, she was married to Prince Charles II of England. And Prince Charles II of England gave the entire region of Bombay at a rent of £10 per annum to English East India Company. So matrimonial alliances is a policy to strengthen one's position. Correct? So at that particular point of time, there was a plan that Ramchandra Dev will marry his son Shankar to the daughter of Rai Karan, whose name was Deval Devi. Malik Kafur comes to know about this, and immediately Deval Devi, she was taken into captivation and she was sent to Delhi, wherein Deval Devi was forced to marry one of the sons of Alauddin Khilji, whose name was Khizr Khan. Right now we have seen Chittor was renamed as Khizrabad. Why? Because Khizr Khan was appointed as the governor of Khizrabad. True? Moving ahead. So initially, Ramchandra Dev, he offered stiff resistance, but he was not successful. So what happened? Alauddin Khilji, he was a very diplomatic person. He said, Ramchandra Dev, we are not against you. Okay, you haven't paid tribute for past 2 to 3 years, no issues with that. I just need one help from you. And what's that? The help is, you just show the direction to Malik Kafur in southern part of India. I do not want money. I do not want any kind of military support. You just show the direction to Malik Kafur in southern part of India. And Ramchandra Dev was ready for this. So this simply highlights one thing. There was internal squabble between the rulers of southern part of India. So after this, Malik Kafur attacked the region of Warangal and he had defeated the ruler Prataprudra Dev. He had attacked the region of Dwar Samudra ruled by Hoysalas and he had defeated the ruler Veer Ballal III. Then he had attacked the region of Madurai and defeated the Pandyan dynasty rulers. So in simple words, the South Indian expeditions of Alauddin Khilji was majorly led by Malik Kafur, who is also referred as Hazar Dinara. Okay, so Ramchandra Dev was defeated. Then Veer Ballal III, the ruler of Dwar Samudra Hoysala, he was being defeated. Then Prataprudra Dev, the ruler of Warangal, was being defeated, and the Pandyan dynasty rulers were being defeated by Malik Kafur. So these were the expeditions of Malik Kafur in the northern and southern part of India. Now coming to the administrative reforms of Alauddin Khilji, which are very important from the exam perspective. First thing, Alauddin Khilji. Now, as I've told you, Alauddin Khilji, like I'll give you a very simple example. Alauddin Khilji focused on fast-moving cavalry. And there were more than 4,75,000 cavalrymen. It's not just about the strength of the entire army of Alauddin Khilji. There were approximately 4,75,000 cavalrymen in the army of Alauddin Khilji. And for that, he had introduced two important systems called as Dag and Chehra system. It's a request to you guys, please keep on noting down. Dag means branding of horses, and Chehra was to ensure regular muster roll in the army. Since he had to maintain a huge army, so he required a lot of specifically grains and groceries, and for that purpose he need to collect the taxes. So how to impose the taxes? So he had divided the markets into 4 parts. Like there was a separate market for clothes. There was a complete separate market for grains and groceries. There was a complete separate market for horses. There was a complete separate market for slaves and miscellaneous commodities. So market during the Alauddin Khilji's time was divided into 4 parts. Stock holding was not at all allowed. I repeat, stock holding was not at all allowed. But there could be a person, specifically there could be a rich merchant who can go for stock holding. So in such a situation, to overhaul the market, a separate market superintendent was appointed. Okay, and the market superintendent was referred as Shahana-e-Mandi. Please remember this terminology. So market superintendent during the time of Alauddin Khilji was referred as Shahana-e-Mandi. Okay. Now this person, Shahana-e-Mandi, he can fall into the corrupt practices since the prices of the commodities were fixed. Apart from this, there couldn't be any kind of a stock holding. So there could be stock holding if Shahana-e-Mandi, he becomes a corrupt officer. So spy system is referred as eyes and ears of the king. It's not during the time of Delhi Sultanate or Mughal dynasty. In fact, from the ancient India time, we had seen about the modern administration. There were 2 kinds of spies, Sansthan and Sanchari. Sansthan were stationary spies and Sanchari were wandering spies. Similarly here, there were 2 important spies. One was Barid, who was intelligence officer. Other was Munihan, who were secret spies. Okay. Now, if you have to run the administration, you have to impose all kind of taxes. So, Ghari tax was introduced. Ghari means house tax. Chari tax was introduced. Specifically, these were the taxes on the pasture lands. You have to remember the terminologies. So, Ghari means house tax. Chari means pasture tax. A new land revenue unit of measurement was introduced by whom? Alauddin Khilji, and that is referred as Biswa. You might have heard about the terminology referred as Bigha. You might have heard about the terminology referred as Bissa or Biswa. Okay, these are the famous land revenue terminologies precisely in the northern part of India. Okay, so the land was specifically a new land revenue unit measurement was included, and that was referred as Biswa. Okay, one more additional information I'll give you. In the coming years, specifically, there would be the rule of the Lodi dynasty. And the Lodi dynasty, it was being founded by Behlol Lodi. Behlol Lodi was succeeded by his son, Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi is considered as the greatest ruler of Lodi dynasty. In fact, he has also come up with various administrative reforms. And Sikandar Lodi had introduced another land revenue unit measurement, and that was Gaj. You might have read in the NCERT in Tamil Nadu State Board book, Gaj-e-Sikandari. So just remember this, Gaj-e-Sikandari was introduced by Sikandar Lodi, and Biswa was introduced by Alauddin Khilji, whose original name was Ali Gurshap. Clear? Moving ahead. Now, Alauddin Khilji had patronized one of the famous historians at that time, who was Amir Khusro. And Amir Khusro, he had given the title of Tuti-e-Hind, that is Parrot of India, to Amir Khusro. So just remember this. And Amir Khusro had given the title of Sikandar-e-Azam, that is Alexander, to Alauddin Khilji. Okay. Now, what were the important constructions initiated by Alauddin Khilji? Now, Alauddin Khilji, he had constructed Alai Darwaza. First important thing. Alauddin Khilji had a vision. He had an intention to construct Alai Minar. which would be double the size of Qutub Minar. But this could never be completed. So he had constructed Alai Darwaza. He initiated the construction of Alai Minar. Apart from this, there's a place in Delhi which is referred as Hauz Khas. You might have heard about this. So Hauz Khas, this construction was being done by Alauddin Khilji. He had constructed a mosque which is referred as Jamaat Khana Mosque. He had constructed specifically Palace of 1,000 Pillars. Okay, and that is referred as Mahal Hazar Satoon. As discussed previously, Alauddin Khilji had defeated the Mongols, and more than 8,000 Mongols were being beheaded. And with the help of the head of these Mongols, the foundation of a structure was being laid, and that was referred as Siri Fort. So Siri Fort was also being constructed during the time of Alauddin Khilji. So these are the important aspects that you guys need to remember from the perspective of Alauddin Khilji. Hope so the point is clear. Please answer in the comment section. Yes? Is that clear, everyone? Okay. Now, after Alauddin Khilji, there were series of weak successors again. Very good, Jivisha. What about the others? Is the things clear? Okay, very good. Now, after Alauddin Khilji, there were again series of weak successors. Okay, and another dynasty was being founded, and that dynasty is nothing but Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, Tughlaq dynasty. And the foundation of Tughlaq dynasty was being laid down by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. And Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq is also referred as Ghazi Malik. Okay, many historians do believe that Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq or Ghazi Malik, okay, he was being murdered by his own son, whose name was Juna Khan. And Juna Khan is nothing but Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Clear? Now comes Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now, Muhammad bin Tughlaq is famous for his 5 major experiments. Many historians do call Muhammad bin Tughlaq as a wise fool. Many historians do call Muhammad bin Tughlaq as a mixture of opposites. Clear? Now, we will understand why he was referred as a wise fool or why he was referred as a mixture of opposites. So, 5 important experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq are very important from the exam perspective. And there could be a probable question in the examination. Arrange the following experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq in chronological order. Is that clear? One more thing. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, you have to remember one important thing. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq had laid the foundation of a fort referred as Tughlaqabad Fort. I repeat, he laid the foundation of a fort which is referred as Tughlaqabad Fort, and Tughlaqabad Fort is also referred as a cursed fort. Why? Because one of the important Sufi saints at that time, Nizamuddin Auliya, who is also referred as Mehboob-e-Illahi, that is beloved of Allah, he had cursed Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Hence, Tughlaqabad Fort is also referred as the cursed fort. So please remember this fact. Clear? Moving ahead. Let's understand about the 5 important experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The first experiment was transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Now pay attention carefully. Suppose you are the Sultan, you are the ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Okay. Now, if you have a fear that Mongols will attack your territories, obviously you will keep your capital quite close to the borders. Okay, probability is that the Mongols might attack from the northwestern part of India. They might enter into the plain regions of India through Khyber Pass, which is located in Hindu Kush Mountains. This is a probability, correct? So, as a safe point, you will keep your capital at Delhi. True? Now, this person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he shifted the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, which is approximately more than 1500 miles. Okay, he completely neglected the climate at that time. Apart from this, he had spent a lot of money on transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Like a proper road was being constructed. Apart from a proper road, it is also believed that shady trees were being planted on the roadsides. Then sarais were being constructed. Sarais means the rest houses were being constructed by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now, historian V.D. Mahajan believes that, or historian V.D. Mahajan, he writes in his book that people were forced to migrate from Delhi to Daulatabad. In fact, he writes specifically that a blind man was dragged to Daulatabad. Okay, many of the people, they died before reaching Daulatabad. Many of the people died in Daulatabad. And after some time, Muhammad bin Tughlaq realized that he had made a huge mistake by transferring the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. So he retransferred the capital from Daulatabad to Delhi. And again, he spent lakhs of tankas on this. Second failed experiment of this person was increase of taxation in the region of Doab. Now, what is the region of Doab? Like for example, suppose if a river is flowing in this direction, if any other river is joining the main river from the left side, it is referred as left bank tributary. If any other river is joining the main river from the right side, it is referred as right bank tributary. And this region is referred as Doab. Okay, it's a highly fertile region. Example, the region of Punjab. It is a Doab. True, and it is drained by Indus and its important tributaries. So Ganga Yamuna Doab, it's a highly fertile region. And the peasants in this region are quite successful. So he had spent a lot of money in the transfer of capital, retransfer of capital, and anyhow, he wanted to regain back the losses. He wanted to recover back the losses. So what did he do? At this particular point of time, he increased the taxes in the region of Doab by approximately 50%. Okay, so he increased the taxes by 50%. Unfortunately, in the region of Doab, that same year, there was a famine. Okay, so apart from this person being a wise fool, it can also be said that to an extent, I'm not saying completely, but to an extent, he was not that fortunate enough as well. So in the same year, there was famine in the region of Doab. The peasants were unable to pay the actual land revenue. How will they pay the 50% additional tax? So what did he do? He thought that I should help out the peasants. And for that, he started a new department of agriculture, and that new department of agriculture was referred as Diwan-e-Kohi. Very, very important terminology. There could be a probable question in the examination, who started Diwan-e-Kohi department? So it was started by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Diwan-e-Kohi department is related to, so it is related to agriculture. So he started Diwan-e-Kohi department, and he chose an area of 70 to 84 square miles. And he spent approximately 70 lakh tankas for the next 3 to 4 years to replenish the fertility of the soil in that region. But unfortunately, the land was completely barren. So this was nothing but second failed experiment of whom? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Third failed experiment was introduction of token currency. Now this person, he wanted to replicate Gai Khatu, the ruler of Persia, Kublai Khan, the ruler of China. Because Gai Khatu, he had introduced token currency, the ruler of China, he had introduced paper currency. So now he wanted to introduce a token currency. The token currency was made up of copper, and it had the same value or the same face value like the silver coin. Okay, the market was flooded with token currency. And the most important aspect that we need to understand is the token currency could be easily forged. Various historians do write in their books that the house of every Hindu became a mint. Anybody can forge that currency. In fact, this person had to bring back again the gold coins, again the silver coins into the market and remove the token currency. So this was the third failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Another failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq was Khorasan expedition. Khorasan, it's a place in Central Asia, and there was a very chaotic situation in the region of Central Asia. Correct? See, whenever the two rulers are fighting or whenever there is a chaos between the two rulers, obviously it is an opportunity for the third ruler. But it is an opportunity only when your army is very well prepared for this. Like you should attack, destroy and come back. That should be your proper strategy. Correct? Now what did this person do? There was a chaos in the region of Central Asia, precisely in the region of Khorasan. Now he aspired to conquer the region of Khorasan. And for that, in the military department, he recruited more men. He trained them for the next 6 to 8 months. He gave them additional salary for the next 6 to 8 months. So in Diwan-e-Arz department, he recruited more men. Many historians do believe that approximately 3 lakh men were being recruited into Diwan-e-Arz department. They were given heavy salaries and so on. After some time, there was, like in the region of Khorasan, the entire dispute, it was being resolved. Okay. So he had already spent a lot of money on specifically what? He had already spent a lot of money on the recruitment process and so on. Apart from this, this person had completely neglected the geographical terrain. Fighting in the plain areas is a different thing. Fighting in Central Asian region is altogether a different thing. To reach the Central Asian regions, you have to go through the snow-clad mountains of the Hindu Kush region. You have avoided that fact. How will you carry the grains and groceries to that region? Again, you have avoided these facts. Fourth failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Another failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq was Karachil expedition. Karachil located in the region of Kumaon region of Himalayas, specifically Himachal and Uttarakhand. Now he wanted to safeguard his borders. And so he attacked the region and specifically in this, he attacked in this region. And it was during the monsoon season. And we have studied previously itself. Why was Mahmud of Ghazni successful in every raid that he conducted? Because he attacked before the onset of the monsoon. He knew one fact very well, that during the monsoon season, the rivers of North India are over-flooded. True? So he attacked before the onset of the monsoon and went back. But this person attacked during the monsoon season. So again, he had to face a humiliating defeat in this region. Fifth failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Clear? Now, what do we all need to remember about Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his 5 experiments are very important from the exam perspective. Apart from this, Muhammad bin Tughlaq had started a separate department of agriculture which is referred as Diwan-e-Kohi department. Then, Muhammad bin Tughlaq had constructed a fort which is referred as Adilabad Fort in Telangana. And he had made the city of Jahanpana. Then, there was a historian whose name was Ziauddin Barani. He had called Muhammad bin Tughlaq as Muhammad bin Tughlaq was mixture of opposites. Correct? So, how do we come to know about the works of Muhammad bin Tughlaq or the expeditions of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Through 2 important books, that is Tarikh-e Firoz Shahi and Fatwa-e-Jahandari. It was written by Ziauddin Barani. So please remember the literature part as well, because literature part is also very important from the exam perspective. So Tarikh-e Firoz Shahi and Fatwa-e-Jahandari, both these books were written by whom? Ziauddin Barani. Is that clear, everyone? Then moving ahead, how did Muhammad bin Tughlaq die? Now Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was leading an expedition to the region of Daulatabad. And after a successful expedition to the region of Daulatabad, he was going back towards Delhi. When he was going back towards Delhi, he heard that there is a civil revolt in the region of Gujarat, which was led by a noble whose name was Taghi. So immediately he changed his plan, and rather than going to Delhi, he started moving towards the region of Gujarat. And when he started moving towards the region of Gujarat, what happened? Taghi comes to know about this, and Taghi runs away from the region of Gujarat and he starts moving towards the region of Sindh. Now Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to chase this person in the region of Sindh. So Taghi, he moved towards the region of Sindh, precisely in the region of Thatta, near Sindh. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq, initially he reached a place called as Gondal and he fell very seriously ill. So he took a rest for 3 to 4 days, and after partial recovery, he again started moving towards Thatta, near Sindh. Okay. And finally, when he reached Thatta, Muhammad bin Tughlaq died. And when Muhammad bin Tughlaq died, specifically, Firoz Shah Tughlaq was chosen as the next ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. Hope so the point about Muhammad bin Tughlaq is clear, everyone. Please answer in the comment section. Yes, please. The point is clear? Okay, very good. Very good, Divisha. Very good, Shri. M, very good. Now let's move with Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Now pay attention carefully. Whenever Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he used to lead an expedition, okay, what he used to do? He had appointed a person whose name was Khwaja-e-Jahan as his Naib or Prime Minister. Okay, as his Naib or Prime Minister. So, yes, Monisha, good afternoon. So, when he was appointed as the Prime Minister, what had happened at that time? Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he used to lead the expedition, and his Naib or Prime Minister, he used to take care of the administration. So, as soon as his Naib, Khwaja-e-Jahan, comes to know that Muhammad bin Tughlaq has passed away in the region of Sindh, he declared what? A minor, okay, as the head of the, or he declared a minor as the ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty. Correct? And he said that this minor, he is a son of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. In fact, probably many historians do believe that this minor could be treated as a puppet and the entire administration would be managed by whom? Khwaja-e-Jahan. So this might be a plot of Khwaja-e-Jahan. But at that time, the experts, the ulemas, they believe that there is nothing called as hereditary law of succession in Islam. And secondly, Muhammad bin Tughlaq does not have any successor. So how can a minor be placed on the position of the ruler of Delhi Sultanate or ruler of Tughlaq dynasty? So this might be a plot of whom? Khwaja-e-Jahan. So immediately Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he was chosen as the ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. Firoz Shah Tughlaq, what did he do? He, specifically speaking, he removed this person Khwaja-e-Jahan from the position of deputy or naib, and another person was appointed whose name was Khan-e-Jahan Maqbool, who was loyal person to Firoz Shah Tughlaq as the new naib or deputy. So during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Khwaja-e-Jahan was a deputy. During the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Khan-e-Jahan Maqbool, he became the deputy. Now, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, precisely speaking, he had led many expeditions. Now, one such expedition was, he had attacked the region of Kangra in Himachal Pradesh. And after attacking the region of Kangra in Himachal Pradesh, he had destroyed the famous Jwalamukhi temple there. And thousands of Sanskrit manuscripts from these regions, or from the Jwalamukhi temple, were collected. And these Sanskrit manuscripts were translated into Persian language. The translated version of these Sanskrit manuscripts were referred as Dalail-e-Firoz Shahi. Please remember the name. I'll repeat the points again. This person who, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he had attacked the famous Jwalamukhi temple. And after that, he had taken away 1,000 manuscripts from that region, from that temple. And these 1,000 Sanskrit manuscripts were being translated into Persian language. And the translated version was referred as Dalail-e-Firoz Shahi. Okay. Now, this person, he led an expedition to the region of Sindh and defeated the ruler of Sindh, whose name was Jambamnia. Now, let's talk about the administrative aspects of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Very, very important terminologies I'm going to speak about. Clear? Now, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, precisely speaking, like he was a fundamentalistic follower of Islam. Like there was a Brahmin who had questioned the ayats of Quran and he was being openly burnt alive. Okay. Now he had introduced the jizya tax. He had implemented the jizya tax for the non-Muslims, that is Hindus. Apart from this, he collected all kinds of taxes. Like Diwan-e-Kohi department was being initiated or started by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But for increasing the practices of irrigation, he had constructed more than 845 canals. And there's a Persian word for canal which is referred as Rajwah. Just remember this. To promote the agricultural practices, to promote the practices of irrigation, he had constructed more than 845 canals, and the Persian word for the canals was referred as Rajwah. And this was mentioned by a historian, Farishta. Whatever money was accrued in the form of taxes, it was spent for the welfare of the people. Okay? I'll give you the important departments that was being created by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Like he had introduced irrigation tax, which was referred as Haq-e-Sharb. Please keep on noting down along with me. Irrigation tax was referred as Haq-e-Sharb, first thing. Then he had started a charity department which was referred as Diwan-e-Khairat department. I repeat, charity department which was referred as Diwan-e-Khairat department. Okay. Then hospital service was completely free of cost, and the hospitals were referred as Dar-ul-Shifa. I repeat, the hospitals were referred as Dar-ul-Shifa or Shifa Khana. Then this person, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, had more than 1,80,000 slaves. And for these slaves, these slaves were employed in the karkhanas. There was a separate department of slaves during the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And that department was referred as Diwan-e-Bandgan department. Okay. Then another important department that was being initiated was Diwan-e-Insha department, that is department of correspondence. He also promoted the horticultural practices, like more than 1200 gardens were being planted around the regions of Delhi during the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So I'll repeat the points again. He had introduced irrigation tax, which was referred as Haq-e-Sharb. Specifically, he had started a charity department referred as Diwan-e-Khairat department. Free hospital service referred as Darul-Shifa or Shifa Khana. A separate slave department referred as Diwan-e-Bandgan department was being initiated by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Apart from this, let's understand about the important constructions initiated by this person. Like, if you remember, specifically the initiation of the construction of Qutub Minar, it was being initiated by Qutbuddin Aibak. The construction of Qutub Minar was completed by his slave and son-in-law Shamsuddin Iltutmish. And the top floor of Qutub Minar was struck by lightning and it was being destroyed. So it was again reconstructed by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So just remember, specifically the top floor was being repaired by Firoz Shah Tughlaq of Qutub Minar. Okay. The Ashokan pillars from the region of Topara, located in Haryana, and Meerut, located in UP, were brought to Delhi by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Clear? Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he has constructed more than 300 towns and cities. One such town was Fatehabad. So these were the important things that you guys need to remember about Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Is that clear, everyone? So Diwan-e-Khairat department, Diwan-e-Bandgan department, Diwan-e-Insha department, Ashokan pillars from Topara and Meerut, then repairing of specifically the top floor of Qutub Minar. Apart from this, he had patronized the famous historians such as Ziauddin Barani, who has written the book Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi and Fatwa-e-Jahandari, as we have seen. Is that clear, everyone? So these are the important things that you guys need to remember about the Tughlaq dynasty rulers. Hope so the point is clear. Yes, Pranjal ji, good afternoon. So do remember all these points which are very important from the exam perspective. In tomorrow's session, we will be focusing majorly on the administration of Delhi Sultanate. In short, hardly within 5 to 10 minutes, I'll be speaking about the Sayyid and the Lodi dynasty rulers. So tomorrow's session's focus would be majorly on the administration of Delhi Sultanate, which is important from the exam perspective. Okay. My friends, as a part of Achievers Carnival sale, okay, like lowest prices like ever, the sale has been introduced for the benefits of the student. So it's the lowest prices ever. The batches are available in Hindi. The batches are available in bilingual mode, and there's a complete separate batch in English medium. Okay. And specifically speaking, it is a limited period offer. The prices of the batches are starting at 12,999. I repeat, 12,999. There's a complete separate batch for English medium. All the subjects would be taught to you completely in English language. Completely, everything, ranging from history, geography, polity, economy, science and tech, current affairs, ethics, internal security, and so on. So it's a limited period offer. You grab this opportunity, use the code Alok Live that is flashing on your screen to get the benefits of these batches. I repeat the code Alok Live. In tomorrow's session, we are going to focus on the administration of Delhi Sultanate. With this, I'll stop my words for the day. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you and have a very nice day. Bye-bye everyone and Jai Hind. Yes, Monisha ji.